Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you just so happen to be stopping by for the very first time, thank you so much for joining me on this video. My name is Donella and this is my world of makeup right here on YouTube. Let me tell y'all something, right? For the past week, this past week alone, I felt like every day was Sunday. I felt like I was having Groundhog Day. You remember that movie Groundhog Day with what the hell is his name again? But the movie Groundhog Day, where you just kept having the same reoccurring day after day. You go sleep when you wake up. That's exactly how I feel like right now with this lockdown, with this awful coronavirus. Like I just need this thing to just go away, just go away. Personally, I don't know how people who are jobless could actually stay inside their home all day every day, just literally just sitting around watching TV, eating and all them kind of things. That I feel so I'm tired of it. I like my house, but not this one. Anyway, I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing right now. I do know I want to play up with a little bit more color, so I'm thinking of doing something very colorful again. So if you are interested in seeing what I create, I'm just winging it, then please stay tuned. I was like filling in my eyebrows, like just before this lockdown started, right? I would have ordered some more of my Fenty brow pencil, but the ink Kittitian office, I think, possibly, maybe. So for the time being, I have to use these drugstore brand Gabriella pencils, and they're really not that bad. I actually like the brown shade of them. Some of the areas where I see like I don't want to say patches, but basically filling the areas where I can see my skin. Not too heavy because you still want it to look a little bit more like here. And this process actually takes a bit of time, and I normally don't really, I can't even start doing this because I'd be going back and forth, so there's no actual real structure. And then after I feel like I've had enough of the pencil inside, then I start using my spoolie and brushing it. And then if I see I might have removed the line that I need right there to basically mark out where my eyebrow is supposed to stop, then I fill it back in. But for most part, I really don't do my eyebrows heavy. On some occasions I do, depending on the type of eye look that I'm doing, but on most occasions they still look like here, and I think that is actually how eyebrows are supposed to look. We have the brows out of the way. By the way, I'm not naked. I just have on one of these tank tops because it is hot as hell. Okay, so I'm going to be using my Juvias Place concealer as the base to create this eye look. And I don't know if this happened to anybody else, but after maybe like a week or two after I got this, I realized the cover just, oh well, you know what, whatever. So I'm gonna pack this on my lid and basically use this as my base. And the reason why I'm using this as a base for this look is because the Juvias Place concealer has a bit of a tackiness to it, and I believe that whenever I use this as a base, the colors, like when I'm creating colorful looks, it shows up just as good as when you're using one of those P. Louise what are those things called from P. Louise? The P. Louise, is it just called a base? I can't remember, but one of those. I'm going to create something with the colors from our national flag. So what I'm going to do, I really want to use red as the transitioning color for this look, and then add the green, yellow, black, white, yeah, all those other colors on my lid. It depends on, I'm just bringing it right now, but for now, you guys know I don't really own like a red eyeshadow. I own like colors that are in the red family, but not necessarily like a red. So to start things off, I'm going to be using my Stunna lip paint in the shade Uncensored. It's this red shade right here, and I'm just going to use a bit of that in my crease area, basically to use that as a red base. And then I'm just going to blend it out with my Enigma shade from my Melt stack. Dab this mini brush right here because I really want it to be very, very precise. And I'm gonna start off by basically, yeah, I'm just spreading it because this base is Still kind of wet, and you know this is actually a lipstick, so it's going to be wet too. So I'm going to start off by basically blending this outwards, and I'm wondering what type of shape do I want. And I normally go for like a V shape, because instead of the rounded shape, because of the shape of my eye, I feel like the V shape works better with the shape of my eye. So I'm going to be doing a V shape. I'm going to be using the Enigma shade basically to just apply concealer, and then you add a powder over it just so it sets and it doesn't move. So I'm going to be using the Enigma shade for my melt stack basically as a powder so that it doesn't move. And this is the shade Enigma for my melt stacks. It's not, you know, exactly red like the uncensored color from my MAC, and as you guys can see, you know, even though it's on me, it still looks a little bit different. And the Enigma actually looks a little bit dark, like it's darkening the red, but that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. That's okay, because that's the only thing I have right now that can work, and just to make sure that this doesn't move. All right, so I just kind of cleaned up the area a bit with my MAC Correct and Conceal palette with the I used the NC45 from that palette, because I felt like the Juvias Place palette, the Juvias Place concealer was just doing something really weird, and I just basically packed it on like this, just like that. Of course, using the straight edge of the brush to give me that line right there. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into my Clarity what is this called, eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to be using this green and this yellow, only because I really like them. Sorry, this green, this forest green right here, and this matte yellow, only because I believe this is the shade of green I'm looking for, and this is the shade of yellow I'm looking for. I'm just going to be packing that on. Green is going to go right here. Yeah, this is definitely the shade of green that I need. Then I'm going to go into I'm just going to flip this brush. You know, you can use the same eyeshadow brush to apply 2 sets of colors. So I'm going to flip it on this side that doesn't have anything yet, and just dig into the yellow, the matte yellow shade right there, and then just pack that right here on the edge. Listen, why did I just put green shadow on my chin? Okay, we good again. Then take this, and I'm just gonna pack it right here on the outer portion that doesn't have any color yet. For some reason I feel like I think I just the makeup wipe kind of got that a little bit wet, so I have to switch brushes right there. Okay, there we go now. Yeah, I feel like the makeup wipe I have in my hand, it messed up. Well, not that it messed up, but it got the brush that I was using just now. The other side got wet with it just now, so I had to again with the green, and just kind of make sure that both colors basically blend together. You know, there are no lines of demarcation where you can actually see where one color starts and where one color ends. I'm thinking of adding just a tad bit of this shade Toucan from the Safari palette that I have here in my hand, and just basically using that as an inner shade. Yeah, just adding a little bit more yellow by adding that right here. I want to incorporate as many colors as I can. I know I'm not going to get any red, any white in here, sorry. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to add just a little bit of black right here in the crease. There's a black right here in the Clarity palette, so I'm going to just add a little bit of the black right here. Okay, so my Anastasia Beverly Hills brush is actually wet. I would have washed some of my brushes just before I began this, so I'm just patting a little bit more of the black with the same pencil brush, and I use this angled brush right here. This one is an Emax angled brush. This, I would have gotten this from Amazon. I don't even know when, but I got this from Amazon. It came with some others. I don't even remember. I didn't even remember this, but it's doing a pretty good job. I just add a bit more of Enigma to kind of just diffuse a bit of that black that went up there. I want to incorporate white by using a white liner pencil on my waterline. I don't know how that's going to look. Hopefully it doesn't look too... I think it looks good. Alright, so let me just get my MAC gel pot. Yeah, trying to incorporate all the colors. So I think I'm going to just leave it as that. And I'm thinking also of taking a bit of this white shade right here. I mean, every makeup artist should know this trick. And just basically using this as a powder to set this white liner right now. Only because my eye waters a lot. And I think I need a bit of powder to set this pencil right now because my eyes always water, so I'm going to use a bit of this white. Yeah. Okay, let's get this eye lined and false lash. So I got my MAC gel pot. I'm going to line my eyes. I'm not going to say it because every single time I say it, it happens. So I'm just going to line my eyes. Whatever it is, it is. So let me get mascara using my Maybelline Falsies Lash Lift. Let me tell you something, right? When you apply lashes, everything just turn up. Everything just turn all the way up. Okay, let me just do the other. Now that I have both eyes done, let me, you know what? I'm thinking of adding just a little bit more of the Fenty uncensored, like the red thing. If I could just make this red pop a little bit more. Does it? Yeah, it's looking a little bit poppish. Let's move on to complexion, and I'm going to be using the Juvias Place I Am Magic foundation. You guys already saw my review on this. The shade Malawi. Just remove the excess lipstick off of my hand first, and I'm just going to be using Malawi. I'm literally only going to be using that much. I even think this is too much. I want to take my time while applying this foundation because I have two followers who would have asked me, you know, I have this foundation, but I always feel like I'm applying a bit too much. Can you show me how I should apply this? You know, are there any tips, etc.? So I'm going to start off by using a primer that I think works really well with this foundation, and it's the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This foundation dries down to a semi-matte finish, but it's also really heavy because it is a full coverage foundation, and I know there are a lot of persons that love the full coverage makeup look. I am not one of those. However, occasionally, every once in a blue moon, I do actually create a full, or I do actually use a full coverage foundation, I should say. And I'm going to be using that today. Let me just use my fingertips to help press this into my skin. Reasons why I actually love using this primer with this foundation, because this has a bit of a like a grip. And I think it really holds on to this foundation really well. So I'm going to start off by basically warming up the foundation just like this on the back of my hand, and I'm going to place it on the first side of my face that I want to apply the foundation. I normally take the excess and just rub it on the butt of the sponge. By the way, I think a wet beauty sponge, whether you have this one from Colored Rain or, you know, the ever popular beauty blender, or if you have those from what is it called, Real Technique, or any one of those beauty brands that whose sponges you own, use that whenever you're using this foundation, because I feel like a wet beauty sponge blends this out way better than a foundation brush. That's just my humble opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but I just feel so. From using it, I just feel like it works better with a damp beauty sponge. So I'm actually going to go in. Yeah, you guys saw what I did. I just went in and just basically dipped the butt of the sponge on the remaining foundation that's on my hand. I still have more, and I'm going to go over here on this side of my face with the rest and just blend that out. Now, this foundation is actually really buildable. You can go in with as much of it as you want, but I only go in with one application because, as I said before, I'm not really into the full coverage look, and I decided to use this foundation because I really wanted to demonstrate to the two followers that I have how I apply this foundation. You have to make sure that you squeeze the excess water out of this sponge, because if you don't, of course, it doesn't matter if it's this foundation or any other foundation, you're gonna start seeing some sort of movement. So you have to make sure that the sponge has just enough water in order for you to blend out this foundation. I'm going to be using basically two concealers for this look. I'm going to go in with this one from Kevyn Aucoin first, which is basically like a flesh tone concealer. Let me take a concealer brush and just basically dab that directly underneath my eye to cover up my dark spots, etc. It's a really full coverage concealer. I mean, I use it as a foundation because it's that thick. It's even thicker than the Juvias Place. I'm telling you, it's that thick. It's, what is it called? It's Sensual Skin Enhancer. It is so thick. This is one thick baby. And yeah, it's even thicker than the Juvias Place. So if you think the Juvias Place is thick, you own this thing from Kevin Aquan, and you're gonna be having second thoughts about Juvias Place. I'm going to go in with this concealer from ColourPop from the Pretty Fresh line. Yeah, I've been really liking this one. I ain't gonna tell a lie, this has been doing some really good things in terms of coverage and giving me a bit of highlight. Yeah, I've been really liking this, and as you guys can see, I'm not going directly underneath my eye, and that's because I would have applied the Kevin Aquan Sensual Skin Enhancer right underneath my eye, and that is a really thick baby, so I don't really want too much things cluttered underneath my eyes. So I'm going to just apply it right there and then blend it out in the areas where I want it blended out. The one that I use for the foundation is a little bit wetter than this one. This one is like near almost dry, and I feel like this one blends out the concealer much better when it's not that wet. Okay, and I'm going to be using my True Color Black Opal True Color Mineral Matte Cream Powder Foundation. This one is in the shade, oh, this is actually Ebony Brown. I'm going to be using this as my cream contour for this look. Wet beauty sponge that I use to blend out my foundation and blend this out. The Ebony Brown is a little bit dark, so yeah, I'm going to be blending that all the way out. Same sponge that I use to blend out my concealer, the one that is almost near dry. Start off with honey. Okay, so I'm going to switch it up today and go in with my Fenty Mocha Mommy Only for bronzing, because this has like a reddish brown finish to it, and because I'm wearing this red transitioning color, I think it's going to work perfect with this look. So I'm actually packing it in here first, and then when I reach right here, you know, on my forehead and my temples, I'm going around in circular motion to matte eyeshadow palette and add that white right there. Right, so let me just take my sponge now, butter the sponge, same sponge that I used to apply the concealer and the powder, and just basically press that in now. I think I've baked enough. 2 minutes is enough time to bake, right? Yeah, I just really wanted my highlight to look real popping, and she is. The banana powder on my skin complexion is like a brightening color. The honey is, you know, it's suitable, you know, it's yellow and everything, but when I want my highlight to really pop, yeah, the banana powder and the shade of it is kind of like a beigey shade. Yeah, it really makes my hairline pop. Okay, so I'm wondering if I should do a shadow drop. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a shadow drop like right here. Add a little bit of green and yellow be underneath here. Yeah, underneath they're looking a little bit big. Go in with the same forest green shade first, and I'm just going to add that right underneath here. Oh, this green is actually a really pretty green. Like, not because green is my favorite color, right? It's because, wow, I think this looks stunning. I'm sorry. I think I'm going to drag the green all the way over here and then just leave that little space right there for the yellow. Yeah. Next, then I'm going to go in with that matte yellow shade right here, and I suspect I might actually have to use a bit more of the shimmery color. I don't think that this yellow is going to really show up on camera. I could see it, but I don't think it's going to show up on camera like on the top portion. So what I'm going to do is use this as the base, this matte yellow, and then I'm going to take a bit of toucan from this one and add toucan right over it. Yeah. Now that we have some shadow underneath here, then we could just go ahead and pull out this little bad boys underneath here. This video is getting a little bit too long, so I just went ahead and did my highlight off camera. I'm going to be using these two colors here for my lip. I mean, I have this much color on my eye, so I think I might as well just go ahead and do a nude lip. I'm wondering if I should do both or if I should do one. Maybe I should just do one. I'm going to be using this one from ColourPop. This is from their Ultra Glossy line. This one is called Lesson Learned. I'm just going to use that. How sexy is this gloss? It's like the perfect shade of like nude beige pink. I love this color. It reminds me so much of, there's a NYX Butter Gloss lip gloss that I love as well. It reminds me of it. Listen, I'm going to do something with it here real quick, and then I'm going to come back to wrap up the end of this video. So I'll be back in I'm back, and this is the finished look. I decided to just use this head wrap, and it actually matched perfectly with the eye look I created. You know, I'm out here struggling in these streets because I am not a hairdresser. Here is like my weakest link when it comes to, you know, getting creative. I don't know anything about hair. Nobody, I keep saying this, you know, I don't know anything about hair. So I'm hoping, you know, I'm praying that everything just goes well in terms of getting things back, you know, getting the place back to some sense of normalcy. I'm really praying hard for that, for persons like me and for everybody else, because yeah, I'm struggling like crazy. I can't. I really can't. If you have enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up on your way out, and also drop me a comment down in the comment section and let me know the type of videos or the type of look that you want to see next. Thank you guys so much for being here with me once again, and I'll talk to you guys real soon on my next video.